Approximately a dozen bicyclists, many who are cancer survivors, are riding more than, check this out, they're riding over 300 miles over 4 days from Moffitt Cancer Center to Tallahassee to raise money for cancer awareness and cancer research. Bicyclist and cancer survivor, more importantly, cancer survivor, Joshua Rivera joins us today to talk about this and tell us more about the ride you guys are going to make. But let's first, to get serious for just a second, you were given a 15% chance to live, which basically means there was an 85% chance you were not going to survive cancer. What goes through your mind when you first got that diagnosis? What were you thinking? Were you thinking, I'm a goner, I've got no chance?
Well, I mean, your initial thoughts are just you're overwhelmed. Anybody who's been diagnosed, when they hear those words, everything else just kind of drowns out.
Yeah.
But then at that point, in my case, your survival instinct kicks in, and you just, okay, so what's the next step? What is the doctor recommending? You know, obviously, I had the good fortune of going to Moffitt Cancer Center, which is a preeminent institution in the entire country. And I just knew the doctor gave me the faith that he had what I needed, and I was just going to follow his instructions.
You were initially at a different facility, misdiagnosed, until Moffitt figured out what was going wrong. You wound up spending over 1,000 hours in the cancer chair getting the chemo?
Well, actually, it was a combination of both inpatient and outpatient. So.
Okay.
Part of it was in laying in a bed receiving chemotherapy, and part of it was outpatient sitting in a chair, in addition to radiation treatment and surgery.
This was how many years ago, Josh?
So 2009 was my last chemo and radiation.
So, and then you obviously have to go and get checked out and make sure you're clear every year. You were telling me you just did that?
Yeah, I just had my annual checkup. Everything's good so far. So.
Do you feel stronger since you've had the cancer and gotten through and gotten treatment?
Yeah.
You look like you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in decent shape. I can always be in better shape. But I feel it's funny, a lot of cancer survivors will tell you this, they get what they call the Superman syndrome. I was like, I just went through cancer and I can do anything. So in my case, I was like, let me hop on a bike for 300 miles.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's difficult enough to do if you haven't had cancer and you've trained properly. Let's talk about the ride that you're going to make. You're going from Moffitt here in the Bay Area all the way up to Tallahassee, and the timing of that, and you guys have to make it in 4 days.
Correct.
Because what's going to happen in Tallahassee once you guys get there?
So when we arrive in Tallahassee, it's what they call Moffitt Day, which is a day that the state legislature allows Moffitt Cancer Center to lobby the state legislature on behalf of the center, meaning they look for additional funding for cancer research, in some cases for capital funding. A few years ago, we had a very successful lobbying effort, and we were able to open the McKinley outpatient facility, a 200,000 square foot building, as a result of our lobbying effort. Let's
talk quickly in the time we have left about the specific cancer that you had, Ewing sarcoma. The way you got it was pretty rare. You were telling me you had, what was it, 1% of the 2%? What was it exactly?
So in general, sarcomas are usually osteo. They're usually linked to a bone. But in my case, it was actually soft cell. So it was like a floating mass in my abdominal cavity. So it was like, sarcomas are 2% of all cancer diagnoses, and Ewing's is approximately 1% of that. And so very rare, but as you and I were speaking earlier, to my good fortune and to the good fortune of any resident here in the Tampa Bay area, we have Moffitt Cancer Center, which is the only national comprehensive institute in the entire state of Florida, ranked number 6 in the country. And they have an entire clinic dedicated to sarcoma.
So by good fortune, they were right in your backyard.
You're right, 30 minutes away.
Wow, very nice. Well, thank you for being here. And you guys are actually going to be out on the highways bicycling to Tallahassee. You can't take the interstate, can you?
No, we don't take the interstate. We do take some major roads at some points. The organization we ride with is called Cure on Wheels, and you can feel free to donate to our cause at give.cureonwheels.org. All 100% of our funds go to cancer research and our cancer lobbying effort.
So you've beaten cancer, so don't do anything crazy out there on the highway. Be careful when you're out there on the highway.
No, got to follow the road rules.
Josh, thanks for being here.
Jerome, pleasure.
Appreciate it. Again, the website is what is it again, Josh?
Cure on Wheels.
There we are, give.cureonwheels.org. And Tampa Bay's Morning Blend will be right back right after this.